Okay. Hi, my lovelies. It's quite late here in Germany. I was a housewife and a mother for many years. This is one of my favorite times of the evening when I can get the time to myself. And first thing in the morning when
Wisebot,
everyone else is sleeping.
welcome to my channel.
And there goes that thing.
Wisebot said, heavy check mark live
Just a
online
second.
under the game Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The uptime begin.
I'm going to turn that off. Hopefully that will turn that whole thing off. Because I don't really need that. I can see the chat at the moment, and that's just really loud for me and annoying. So this was a favorite for quite a while. For a while there, for an entire week, an entire week, I would start streaming around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Eastern Time, and about 6 o'clock in the evening, people would start coming into my stream. So I took one day off, and that died. I don't know why. But I thought we would start a new game here. This is a lot of reading on my part. I think I'm a pretty good reader, actually. Maybe that's what people enjoyed about it. We're going to start a Hi Chicken Noodle Soups. We're going to start a new game in this and go again. I'm always trying to think. I'm going to leave this on easy just for shits and grins. We don't need to spend our entire playing time restarting battles and stuff. So let's see. Want to make sure that we're going to be able to hear this. I was having some problems with my sound in the beginning. Keeps randomly reassigning new numbers to my various microphones and whatnot.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to
My
settlers
rabbits
from
are
abroad
sleeping
looking
too.
for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
So my rabbits are already sleeping too. That's the thing. Everyone is taken care of. They're fed. They're in bed. And I can stream for a couple of hours with y'all. Spend some time. So that is the beginning of the story. We're immigrants on a caravan going to a new land, and our character has been taken ill. I think that my microphone is pretty loud. If it's too loud, somebody scream at me and let me know. I'm actually talking quietly. I don't want to mess with it though. Some people say I'm too quiet. Chicken Noodle Soups, how have you been lately? I have not seen you for a little while. I'm going to make a female because I have a thing for one of the male characters. I keep wishing. Oh, how sweet. Your kitty cat is sleeping on your arm and clinging like a wristband. Oh, that is so cute. I like that. So, this is the sex. Go next. I don't have a concept for this character yet. I enjoy playing a barbarian, just my nature. Or a druid. We do find a druid later who's not too bad. And we will eventually find a barbarian. You been all right? Okay. Take care of a couple of kittens and just had a lot going on. I get that. Well, my partner had a stroke back at the end of August. I think you knew that. And he's been recovering since then, and that's been a lot of work on my part. But he's doing really well. And I've decided to open my own business as an English language expert, technical writer, blah, 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 and see if I can't get that up and running. So Yeah, things are good. I'm glad to hear things are good with you too. I know life can throw some curveballs at you, and I know you had one recently as well. And it's hard to pick yourself up and go on, but we learn how, don't we? So let's see. What do we want to? I have had, and we could make a gain. What do these guys look like again? This grants might, constitution, and dexterity when endurance is below 50. Silvertide, every encounter when reduced below 75, 50, and 25 endurance. The moon, godlike, generates waves of healing moonlight to restore endurance to them and their allies. Oh, that sounds really powerful. Yeah, thank you. I have had a lot of adversity in life starting from my childhood and just going almost nonstop. It has almost broken me a couple of times, but I'm doing fine. Thank you. You are so sweet. So I think we might take this moonlight, this moon godlike one. I've not played that one before. When reduced below 50 endurance, fire godlike glow like metal in a forge, gaining damage reduction and a small amount of fire damage to any creature who hits them in melee. That's pretty useful too. When death godlike attack an enemy with 25 or less endurance, their damage is increased. I like that one less. These two are both quite tempting, aren't they? The ability to, well, this one's the most tempting. Let's try this. The ability to heal not only yourself but your allies is really fantastic. Like I said, if I'm too loud, it would be great if I knew that. So let's go here. Body type, yeah, because they don't have their own body type. The dwarf always looks so funny. What's up with my twitching, by the way? Something about you can't choose what clips that's on your story, but oh, are you talking about that one that claims that the audio's been muted? If you watch it, the audio's not muted. I had significantly less people watch that one just because it claims the audio is muted. They muted the music that was in one small portion of that. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, you mean that. Oh, you mean my Instagram. The Instagram. I had I had a clip um, from Twitch. That's what you were talking about. That was only 22 seconds long. And when I went to put it to my story in Instagram, it cut it off so brutally. The funniest part was toward the end of the 22 seconds. The funniest part couldn't be shown up, and you can't choose which portion of the thing that you want to have on your story. They just chop it off. They truncate it. So there were several of mine that I didn't bother posting because the funniest part is not right at the beginning. Nobody puts the funniest part at the beginning. There's a lot of stuff I don't share on Instagram for exactly that reason. So, yeah. I guess I'll take a human body just for shits and grins. I usually take the what's it called? Almawa is what I usually take. We're going to have a wizard who can also double as a rogue. We can create an extra rogue if we need to. We'll get a priest. We will get a fighter, strictly speaking. We are offered all of these characters at some point in the gameplay, but I really am tending toward a barbarian. Okay, when barbarians hit with melee attacks, they automatically make reduced damage attacks. It is something I should take a look at or something, because it doesn't sound right. If you figure something out, that'd be really cool. But seriously, when I go to share, what it is you upload your stuff, right, as a reel. I upload my my clips from Twitch or my highlights, I load over into Instagram as a reel. Then I try to share those to my story, and they truncate them. And I haven't figured out how I can choose what portion of it to put onto my story. So, and I don't know that there is a way to choose, but I'm at that age where I'm still tech savvy, but not like I was when I was younger. Let's just be honest about it. I started repairing computers in 1985, by the way. I was 17 years old. Y'all can do the math. And I've been dealing with them ever since then. So now that is the question, though. We have someone who can play rogue, and we can also create a second character and make it a rogue if we want to, so that we don't have to use what's his face as a rogue, the wizard. We will find a druid, we'll find a cipher, we'll find a chanter. We will find, like I said, we'll find all of these in the im Laufe des Spiels, in the course of the game. Okay, that sounds great. That sounds terrific. I appreciate you looking at it, and seeing if there's any. Do you understand what I mean? When you post a video by reel, or you create a video using the reel function, REEL, the third choice when you're uploading something, and then it gets uploaded, and you click on the little arrow, and you want to share it to your story. You can only do it on the mobile phone. Okay. So we'll take the Barbarian then. That'll be cool. What do we want first, Frenzy? That's a no-brainer. Okay. So, fascinatingly enough, our might is our main point, but it is, you suck. It's that kind of a level. Oh. Barbarians have to have intellect? Ah, that's the godlike. Oh. Didn't know barbarians needed intellect. That settles that. So, we're going to leave the perception resolve for the moment. Her job is not to be perceptive. Oh, good gad. Not another one of these graphic designers. I have a ton of graphic designers. Yep, exactly. These are a bunch of girls that look like they're, no offense to anyone out there, but these little gals look like they're between the ages of, I don't even know if they're 18 to about 21. And all of them seem to feel that they are graphic designers. It's an unbelievable amount of them now. So we're playing the godlike. Let's see, where do we want to come from? And each one of them gives us a different thingy here. Resolve might not be too bad to have. An extra resolve point. Cool. Okay, that's with the extra resolve point. OT. Okay, well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad to see you. Sorry that you got to go. It is kind of late, I know. I was streaming earlier today, but that was probably too early. So, hope to see you again, babe. Take care. Okay, let's go next. Let's figure out what we want to do here. What did we do with our godlike? That seems like that might be a sensible choice, doesn't it? Although obviously she could be from any background. Just trying to be sensible about my my choices, my build. here. Oh no, let's take the mercenary anyhow. OT. Well, that's kind of pretty, isn't it? Those are the nature ones. Those are the fire ones. They have a very, very limited portrait set for the godlike. I guess we'll take that one.
I shall lead us.
Just a little bit loud on my side.
Silence surrounds me. Oh?
I think that'll do. Now for a name. Naming characters is always a challenge, isn't it? Anyone else out there? Change my keyboard color here. What do we want to call her? I don't have a feel for godlike names, and they don't offer me any. So, okay. Sounds good. Let's get started. Character creation is tedious but necessary. The caravan master finishes dressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over. We must look like we're in bad shape, huh?
Touch of the rumbling rock could do. There's a stinging beetle round here carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day.
That's not very
There's
encouraging.
a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water.
Oh, I hope so.
I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker. But see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Okay, Odema looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfell, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. Sparfell nods and slides the worn bow over his shoulder. Okay, so what do we want to ask? What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay. If you
Knickknacks.
don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pond, so I hear.
Okay. Who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans.
And
Nobody that
Gwithans.
liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Okay, let's not ask stupid questions.
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Okay.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
I'm sorry, I love that. I got a schedule to keep. Just a second. I need to. This thing's driving me nuts over here. Thank you very much. Crazy thing. Okay. He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground without a blanket nor a pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time. She needs some spring berries. Watch that she doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Aiden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard
Okay.
the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Wow. She's got quite a charm, doesn't she?
Certainly.
That surround sound quality is just kind of
Get it to spill it.
annoying. No, apparently you can't. Okay. I know I'm sans my stuff tonight. But I'm tired. It's a long day. I had one of my babies to the vet. It was really weird because I've got
Need supplies?
she and her
Got
brother.
sundries for sale.
She and her brother both are having problems with their teeth. They inherited it from their mother. I've had to give up on the mother. She's still alive. She's enjoying being with her partner downstairs. And the brother's having a lot of problems. I had to have his eyeball removed. But he's not ready to die. He's running around, jumping, and enjoying his life. And my little girl is definitely not that bad. And the vet is trying to talk me into putting him down, which I think is just not really
I've
kosher.
a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
That's genetics. And I'm trying to prevent his sister from going down the same path, but and then he's got yet another sister. My albino has a little teeny lump on the root of one tooth, and she's wanting to put her down too. I'm like, let's just take the tooth out, let's treat the infection in both the others, and let's see how much longer they can enjoy their lives. I promise you, if I feel that they're being tortured, I will have them put down. But at the moment, they're definitely not that. So it's not fair. You're right, and they are the sweetest and most intelligent. The one that I have on the line, that's the sister who's also having some problems that are not as bad as his. Owen is. So it's really very sad. Okay, let's. Oh, who are you?
Originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure.
It always does.
And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
If you think these caravanners are prickly, watch out for those axe wielders Odema had mentioned. I like that response. Let's take that. Excellent advice. Yes,
Something
it
else
is.
you need?
So,
Looks like we're settled for the night.
just shits and grins. Why'd you move
Does
out
it
here?
seem friendlier than Raid Ceres? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
It's understandable. Drywood is a former Adair colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. And as much as I admired I always have problems with these words in this game. Red Saran's work ethic, they've always struck me as a little fanatical. Sounds reasonable enough. Okay, so out here I'm just taking it one day at a time. So let's just see what he has in store. In stock, I mean, in store. Same diff. She needs to put that on her finger and... I thought we had something. So what is she using? We don't get to see what they're using. Bleh. Bleh, bleh. Let's start there then. Let's go back out. Let's pull up our character here. Put this on her finger. What is she using? She's got a battle axe and a sword. She's probably not going to get anything better than that from him. Okay, so let's hit it. Well, there's a lot we can get out here if we just sort of wander around first before going straight for the berries. Just ingredients that we'll be able to do various things with, crafting wise, crafting different types of food. The fallen tree doesn't budge. Sap oozes from the jagged
Not
wound
looking
in
forward to
its
trying to live
trunk.
through that thing tomorrow.
Understandably. Understandably. So here are the... I want to get a custom... Oop. Click and then right click. Das stimmt. Let's put them next to each other for right now. They're both fighter types. Whoop. I'm always saying I have a wretched sense of direction. Yeah, no, my babies, I think that Aiden's got at least another good 6 months. And his sister, I think she should have a good couple of years left. And the other sister, Nanook, should be able to grow actually quite old. They're 4.5, and hers is just starting. This path winds through a narrow canyon, back the way you came. Grooves in the road mark the passage of hundreds of caravans.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Oh, wolfie.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Well, we may end up setting this up to normal, but like I said, there's some of these fights are just stupid, and most games are not well balanced nowadays. But also life is not well balanced, so one could also look at it that way, couldn't one?
This is it.
We never know what you're going to encounter in real life either. So, you look like you've seen your fair share of action. What'd you do before you came out here? Okay, I used to go on adventures and expeditions, whatever paid. Sounds like we get to decide. It's our history. We're making it up as we go. Yeah? How is it you happen to come here? So let's see what our choices are here. Got into a bar fight with someone with the spare time and resources to punish me for the rest of my life, or I had a job go bad on me, some deaths that didn't need to happen, or I took a job from the wrong person. Only after I'd finished it did I realize it would cause everybody to hate me. I've just had my fill of it. Time to lead a quieter life. Let's take number 4. Well, we all got things we'd like to leave behind. God knows I do. I'll tell you that. Here's hoping they never track us down. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Rhetoric's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of us lot? Yeah, it's hard to pass up that kind of an offer, isn't it? You won't find many offers like that in these parts, believe me. You got some big plans in you got some big plans in store is a question. But I have no idea what I'm going to do next. See what life brings. Completely spontaneous, huh? Interesting. Well, there's probably no hurry to make up your mind. They've got an inn in Gilded Vale that'll put you up as long as you need. Or so my sister tells me. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odema will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. So, just a second here. What can you tell me about the dire wood? I'm not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Adir Empire, broke off after a war some years back. Locals here are feisty. That's how they like it. They're feisty. I love that description. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I'll have to ask my sister more about it. Okay, so why are you here? Kaliska sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she is. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work in Ixamital, but I'd do anything for her. She's a much better woman than I am. So I'm here, and we'll see. Odom I've worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a route this way, but he's doing it for me. Well, that's pretty good. So tell me about yourself. I've got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Direwood. I think they say Deerwood, but to me that looks like Direwood. But my parents ended up in the living lands. I've got a brother in Rauatai and another in Adir. My sister in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. Okay, let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfeld's getting your water anytime soon. He does what he feels like when he feels like. We should check up on him first, slap him around a bit. That sounds like a good plan. Stream's just down that way. Oh my Lord, don't tell me it's another one of them graphic designers. Yep. Oh, it's a web developer. My bad. Dressed like Catwoman. Every single one of them thinks they're sexy. Pictures of them in bikinis on the beach, but not them at their table doing what they ought to be doing. So, stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you some water. Oh, tea. This is normally one of those games where it lights up when you... I feel like we're missing some portion here. Oh. We hadn't been to this portion, have we? So we'll cross over that bridge when we do the action starts. In earnest. Oh. Travelers maybe, or looters, or bandits. Bad sign, any way you figure it. The corpse is cold to the touch, and a ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. A dark crested blood stain besmirches its simple linen clothing. Blech. It's leather armor. Now, she looks like she's got scale mail, if I had to guess. Watch. Well, now that's hide armor, and it looks like scale mail. It really does. Oh, that's the other gal, that's why. Well, now that makes sense, too. We're going to walk along the stream. I'm going to sit here yawning on all this whole stream, won't I? Hopefully y'all can see me. I don't like having that light blaring in my eyes. It hurts my head. That's why I don't have the camera on. But this scene is probably enough to light me up adequately. You can see I'm here. So, let's go on over here, go across the bridge. I hadn't got my ears on tonight. I just hadn't. Just been tired, drained. Thinking about changing doctors so I can get them to properly take care of this sleep apnea I've been living with.
Come on.
And there it is. You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kaliska waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply toward the tree line. You have gained an item, a quest item that is to say, full water skin added to the stash. See, now you can see me really well. Out of the trees emerges Sparfeld. Sounding very kinky. One of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there's a strangeness to his gait. His stride wobbly as he moves towards you with labored breath.
Sparkle, are you all right?
Sparkle's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap. A feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. Now that's a bad sign anyway.
Ambush!
I better save that, because this is not the only fight we're going to be getting in this evening.
Yes.
This is a per encounter. It is, isn't it? So I can spend those. These are per encounter, not per rest. Oh, I thought that other fellow was just standing there. Wow, we can't hit the broadside of a barn, can we? There! It wasn't even a moving target before. Good gad. I'm so embarrassed. He just died from laughing at us. The feller laughed himself to death. She couldn't hit the broadside of us. That's what he was saying as he died. I heard him.
Yes.
Oh, some of the broadside of a barn. I know I did. So, what is the quick save in this one? The proverbial F5 of the modern world. The old games, it was quite often, sometimes it was, I think Baldur's Gate 1 was G, and then Baldur's Gate 2 was Q. At least they've normalized it to some extent. Hey, don't hit me with your pointy stick. You're just pissing me off. The nice thing is, unless you're actually injured, you gain your health back in between. Whoa, they usually have that one guy as hostage. All around you lie the massacred remains of other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Kaliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away some poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stand above the fallen, treading on limbs, backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. It's fair enough, the axes are still good. One of them, towering and severe, with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Heodan, the last of your caravan that's standing. I don't see him. I've failed. Okay. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. Okay, let's pick number 2. The ruin has not been sullied by our hands. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them. They mean to kill us all. Yeah. Let's go with number 7. That could be fun. Judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I'm guessing you are worshippers of Galawain. If Galawain told you to stop protecting the ruins, would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Hayden winces, but the blow never comes. Instead, the man cocks his head, intrigued, of course. But he would not. It is by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge. Okay, so how do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs, or because it's what you were told? The man glares. It has always been known to my people. I see. And what of Galawain's edict that weakness and age must be purged by youth and strength? You think Galawain would want some moldy, crumbling stones to survive long after their builders have turned to dust? Oh, I love sophism. The man's nostrils flare as he fumes. He would not. He told us otherwise. I'm sure he did. Just not you personally. But why should that stop you from killing innocents? Distracted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle, and he nearly fumbles it, affording Hayden the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges you instead. I think he is right to do so. I am very naughty. There's only 2 of them? Oh, because of the mode. Yeah, I'm used to there being like 4, I think there is usually. That's us. Your enemies lie supine on the ground, unable to rise, his companions now silent among the other dead, his breath coming in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choking sighs, a whisper of wind stirs in the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good. Good. The gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against a wagon wheel amongst the howling maelstrom, slashed across chest and bowel, Otima's body stirs, and with a great effort he raises his sagging head. His eyes barely open, he looks directly at you.
Get inside! Run!
That's our cue. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step, you set your hands in the worn folds of the weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arm gives out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Hayden trails behind you, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation as he nears the face of the rocks. One of the fallen attackers who had been feigning death lunges for Hayden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Hayden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They are close to you, despite the wind, from your position. If you were to throw a weapon at your attacker, you would have a good chance of hitting your mark. We have 2 weapons. We'll throw one of them. Your aim is true, and it hits, and the hit jars Hayden loose. Lurching to his feet, Hayden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, and it feels as if your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Hayden to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There is a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight.
Was that?
A Buick. Had to be.
Then we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
Another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
Wow, that sound one got cut off. We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. Okay, let's get inside. Okay, let us check our inventories here because I am short one weapon now. So, spoiler alert, they're all going to die anyhow. So don't get too attached to them. Make sure everything is in your party inventory, and she is now short a weapon. Okay, problem solved. Alles klar, so. Okay, we just came in to orient you. We just came in from this side. Okay. By the way, I'm going to put this in my schedule and see if we can get people coming again to watch this. Would be cool. And if they don't, then we will start scheduling the Evil Baldur's Gate one, I guess. That's a fun one to play. You have to wait. Now we have to get through to the part where they get sucked down into I think it's the 8th plane of hell.
That should be far enough. But what now?
Has to die sometime.
We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime. I don't know why her sound bits are cut off. It's kind of, I'll check the files. I'll have it verify the files when we're done with our gaming session. For right now, it's not bothering too much. Okay, so what happened out there? We know who attacked us. She used her lore to talk to them. That would be a stupid question. There are stupid questions. It's ones you already know the answer to, but somebody else might have the same question. Then let them ask it. But what if they can't? Then they're not all grown up. They need to grow up and learn how to ask questions for themselves. Problem solved. So, pardon me. My partner has a cold right now, and I'm trying to keep from taking it. Okay, she says windstorm of a kind they only get in Glenfath. Not too many people live through them. so it's hard to know what's true. The Fathan word is bivouac. To them, it's the God's way of reaping the souls of the land that couldn't find their own way out. But they'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours? I really do like her. It's so sad. What about everybody else in our caravan? Well, that'd be a stupid question. They're obviously all dead. You don't seem too upset about all this. Kaliska looks you in the eye, a volatile current running beneath her voice. Maybe you just don't know me enough to know what upset looks like. And maybe I've seen worse too. Seen worse and kept on walking. 'Cause there's nothing to be done, and 'cause there's other people you care about who still needs you. I like her. This is life. When my rabbits die, I have to go on to keep taking care of the ones that are still alive. The living need to be taken care of. When my people die too, I've lost more people in this lifetime than would care to think about, to be honest with you. So let's go here, to here, and in here, and we'll put him here for now.
Wonder who was here. See if they left anything useful behind.
You go see your own self, boy. Do you think this is Scooby-Doo? They're ordering me around. Ooh, nice. I'll take that over that old dagger, but the dagger's mine. You're going to die anyhow, and I'll get it. So, I said spoiler alert. Let's go see if we can find a way out of this joint. Oh, don't know that I want to cross the Great
Those piles
Seal.
look suspicious. Let's be careful.
That's not the shortcut I...
Found something.
I was going to say, you can't tell me all of them are that doof. I mean, you can, but you're not going to convince me. That is interesting. Very interesting. Trying to decide what we want to do next. So is this... Make sure when you're doing this not to step on any other bits and pieces. You will set them off. I have never been able to solve whatever riddle this is supposed to be. Really not sure what it's supposed to be about. Other than the fact that they're all trapped.
Worth a look.
It ain't the world, but you know, I'll take it. Just a few extra experience points. Patience is a virtue.
Found something.
Spoiler alert, that last tile is going to be trapped. Really? Oh. Some good experience points there, folks. Just saying. Tattered journal. This small folio is torn in several places and blood has soaked into several of the sheets. One later entry is still legible, however. I can't believe my luck. A few rounds of dice and I've got my hands on a genuine Angwithian artifact. Feller who had it said it was a purty nothing as far as he was concerned. That means it's real purty, but it ain't worth nothing. He's not willing to go a digging in some ruins, but if he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure, then that's worth sneaking past a few painted elves. I'll head to, I keep forgetting whether they're saying the C is a K or is a C. Killant Lish in the morning, or Lis. Then it's just a matter of finding the relief he was talking about. I got to figure out if they're saying the C is a C or as a K. In Scots Gaelic, it's said as a K. My name, for instance, is Craig. Those who live next to the jagged rocks. It was never met Craig, by the way. I get asked that a lot. A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching a spear. Knobby elbows and thin ribs show through its scaly flesh, but you don't recognize it as a yip Zaurith. It watches you cautiously breathing in ragged sighs. The creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. The creature sniffs around you and finds nothing of interest. It steps back and resumes its defensive posture. Let's just back away. There's nothing we really need here. We could kill it. There's not really much point in it.
Wait, do you hear that?
No. Unless you mean that drip. Mayhaps she meant that.
What you need?
Tastes like chicken?
Take a look at the wall. Think we could get through?
A crack along this wall from floor to ceiling. A crack runs along this wall from floor to ceiling. A light gust of air passes through it. So what do we want to do? We could push on the wall. I bet you we could be strong enough to get that sucker pushed down, couldn't we? Well, I'd push it myself. You push with all your might and the crack begins to spread. Finally, you feel the ancient masonry give way. The wall crashes down, revealing a circular room ahead. We had to have a might of 16. That was the ability check. Wheel. That one's just not as nice as everything else we're carrying at the moment. Now, on your knees. Here we go. Shh.
I could scout ahead, see what's around the corner.
You could just shut up. Nice. be better if we have a level up, tied up,
Certainly.
elevated, set up. Okay, that spider fight is going to be a real bitch. Let's go back over here to the other room where we'll fight some slimes. It's going to also be kind of nasty. I'm going to go ahead and set up the level. I can't handle that. I mean, normal is not that much to ask neither. I like that. Oh yeah, I took that off. I played on hard mode, I think it was, and could not figure out why I couldn't access my stash everywhere, if y'all remember that. We may do it again. It was a lot of fun. Except it was disconcerting for me in the beginning. What? What?
That roundish symbol. Pretty sure I saw it on one of the tiles back there.
I always thought this would be like a puzzle thing, and it's not. I was kind of disappointed. I was trying to make sense out of the mural, which we'll go check out in a moment. Turned out it wasn't any kind of a puzzle thingy. Might have to turn the effects down. Could just be me though. See, these are the various kith races. This mural must be ancient, yet the colors are still bright and vivid. It shows a procession of Engwithians from all of the kith races. Almawa, Melf, Orlan, not Melf, but Elf, dwarf and human. They walk among pillars similar to the ones that span this chamber, each one topped with a flame. Not looking for traps because there are no traps. A fact of which I'm fairly certain. Wow, those are some really fast oozes. You get used to the Baldur's Gate where the oozes are suitably slow. You know, you come in here and they like running at you. Those are Daytona 500 oozes. So are not your run-of-the-mill oozes. We can afford top-grade oozes. Two-handed? No, thank you.
What's that muck on the wall?
Ooh, what an excellent question. Viscous and oily, this mud clings to anything it touches. Okay, a viscous slime of something dark and tar-like runs down this wall. The shapes and bulges in the ooze suggest that something lies beneath, but you can't tell what. Okay, let's use our water skin to clear off the ooze. This is bear well for us. This isn't bear well for us. We were supposed to drink that stuff. You rinse the ooze away, revealing an intricate relief of a man's face. The sunburst around it has chipped away in places, but the detail of his head, from the tight curls of hair to the ridges of his pointed ears, still showcase remarkable craftsmanship. One eye socket is empty. A gem fills the other. It's too bad they don't give you the choice of taking the second gem. We're not playing a thief, but if we were, that would be the ultimate solution. The chamber begins to rumble, stray rocks dancing across the tile floors. Finally, a large section of the wall gives way. You have lost an item, okay, because that's what that item was for. Now, you'll hear that they've found something. I have never seen what it is.
Look.
It's worth a look. Hear that? He said it's worth a look. That means they found something secret. I'll tell you what, get off up on top of it. Now, I have never found what it is because that thing was already there. So maybe it's a programming glitch. I'm holding the tab key, as you can see by that thing appearing. I cannot find anything else, and that we already saw. So I'm thinking it's probably some sort of a glitch in the game. Okay, let's away. Let us away. It probably has to do with me getting to bed late each
Do you feel
evening.
that? And there's a draft coming through that wall. I don't hear any sign of that storm either.
Now usually, oh, that could be if I let him break his way, because usually he's injured. And we have to sleep, and then she will disappear if you actually sleep. She even threatens you.
Finish them!
Be quiet.
Now it's quiet time. Use your secret voice. Maybe this area was because this area was, oh yeah, every new area you enter. That's right, you can't change the difficulty of an area once you're already in it. Bats as large as chickens are strung in the web. Lord have mercy. That is rather scary, isn't it? That seems fair enough. I don't know if she can wear a helm. She cannot. I was just kind of having doubts about that. We did already come out of there, though. Or come through there. Sort of. We came through this room. Okay. Alles klar. Let's step outside and face the music. There are some of these games where you start them several times, and there used to be a patch for Baldur's Gate 2 that would take you through Johnny Boy's lair, out the other side, and give you all the essential items. And you wouldn't have to do that all over again whenever you start a new game. Four figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled adra and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. Is that another graphic designer? Yep. Gotta go in and restrict their accounts or they will start writing to me randomly and bugging me. I appreciate the follows, I do. I just, I'm not in the market for a graphic designer. Okay, standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone or ash. Oh, I'm sorry. We already read that. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them. A thick gray beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you've ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with two protrusions that jut out like the wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book.
The description beautifully fits the portrait. I'm very impressed
Your
with that.
brother has done his part.
I'm going to get me some more coffee.
His contribution. I will accept no
Cappuccino,
hesitation
I mean.
from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
I had heated up some water right before we started. Looks like a giant cement mixer, doesn't it? I think he was a little flat. Oops. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then, all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision, and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land, and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black, unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place. Another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed. Its walls lined with Adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end, a great pillar of Adra pierces the floor from above, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions. Pardon me. Pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered or at the base of the pillar now, you see a man with thick gray beard in ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking toward him now, at a pace that is hurried, while trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. We broke it. That moment is when you go, fuck me, what a party. Oh, wait. You awaken to find your malaise has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Bleh. Movement flits through your peripheral vision. But when you turn to look, you see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary paranoid tic. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures at the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Heodon and Kaliska lie bloody on the uneven cobbles, their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. It's so sad that they survived this bivouac and then this. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. A kinder person might have kicked them out of the party and left them in the ruins. I wonder if you can do that. Oh no, when she leaves you, you find her body out here anyhow. That's right. You suck. They're showing you what those whispers sound like at the edge of your hearing. It's quite intense, isn't it? Okay, you're a barbarian. Is she allowed to wear metal armor? Do they allow her to in this game? It slows down her healing. We'll see how this works for us. That's where we came from, so we're not going there. Oh, we just leveled up a level. So in order to level up, click on the cross. There's no religious symbolism there. It's just a timeless symbol that is obvious and naturally occurring. We are not going to need mechanics. We might need some lore. I mean, we'll have other people who are more adept with their lore skills, but the lore skill, really not a bad idea. Right now she just kind of sucks. Our athletics person will be Ader. We should probably be stacking up on survival. We are, after all, a barbarian. And let's do some lore here too. Let's give her at least 1 point of stealth. Her athletics is pretty good too. I say we give her 1 athletics, and I'm going to bring her lower up again. That gives you more dialogue choices, by the by. Her being a godlike creature, she had some needed intelligence and hoo-ha and lore, and yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Barbaric blow, accurate carnage. What does that do? The barbarian learns to line up his or her most savage blows, improving the accuracy of secondary attacks from carnage. This is a passive ability. Barbaric blow is an active one, and greater frenzy is an active one. Let's take the accurate carnage for shits and grins. Say that we're done. It was enough to make you slightly balmy, isn't it? Space pig. Get over here. Okay. Keep your eyes open for these little things that you can collect. So I guess we better walk through it, or it's not going to disappear. Looked like he was setting up home without paying any rent. Was squatting there, wasn't it? Okay, so we're going to go and take these two. Those will be handy for us later. Well, I didn't like anybody else has got a use for it anyhow, not that we know of. Whoa. Like some sort of witch hunt going on here, eh? Inquisition type of stuff here. There's very naughty stuff going on. Okay. We're meant to make our way to Gildedvale, but we need to go through the Vale Wood first. Well, now, I don't know as how I've got a lot of choice at this point.
Just a quick nap.
Oh, she's exhausted. Bless her heart. That really doesn't sound very promising, does it? Really? Oh. Okay, let's see if we can get her to sleep over here. She's exhausted and she needs to sleep. We'll leave it on the damage reduction for... So we can have up to 4 supplies on this level. Oh, we've got 3. Well, now 2. She's had a very tiring day. I don't doubt that at all. Crazy stuff going on here. I'll have to take something for my headache before I go to bed myself tonight. Did you hear that? I heard something growl. Sounded something like that. I ripped my throat up here.
To whispers and shadows.
She's not a thief. I just like the voice set. Now I've done forgot all the places you need to avoid. This is so that when he checks my number of points I have left, he can't see. Oh, I'm so silly. Well, I think she's going to make it through here on her own. Sometimes you play a wizard or a thief or something. Well, now you got to have help. You are not going to make it otherwise.
To whispers and shadows.
I don't know why it bothers. It's not like she can do anything. This isn't Assassin's Creed where I can assassinate them from the... And hide myself in the bush and jump out and assassinate them, right? And this also isn't a combat simulator, as you see. There's not a whole heck of a lot of choices for what you can do. Kill it. That's our rule. If they see you, kill them quicker. Well, now she's not doing too bad on her own here, is she? I must say. Stop bleeding very quickly in this game, don't you? Okay, these aged walls appear to have once encircled this entire glade. Only a small fragment remains, and the stairs leading to the top of the structure have crumbled away. So let's examine the wall more closely. The heavy bricks are slick with moss, presenting a hindrance to climbing, but the stones themselves seem sturdy enough. Given the right tools, one might easily reach the top, and I'm suspecting we don't have them. Let's try to scale the wall. You find a handhold upon one of the large stones and start pulling yourself up. You make your way steadily up the crumbling ruin and over the top. Well, I'll Swanee. We made it. Get off of him. Oh. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Flavano's gloves. +2 dexterity. Can't hurt. Though never as famed as he would claim, the Valian explorer, Fulvano, was known as an eccentric who wished to see the world. Where possible, he traveled by foot. There should be a comma there, by the way. Where possible, comma, he traveled by foot to gain a local's appreciation for the sights, sounds, and smells of the lands he passed through. In practice, however, Fulvano often claimed that his explorations proved only that the world outside of the Valian Republic was a foul, smelly place that paled in comparison to his homeland. I'm sure many of us might think that. These gloves are said to have belonged to Fulvano, who often found himself in need of some protection as he climbed harsh terrain or maneuvered through forests. While thick enough to provide some warmth, they are meant first and foremost to be flexible enough not to hinder delicate tasks. And they're ours now. Oh, wrong game. Wunderbar, darling, einfach fabelhaft. Hopp, okay. Bleh. Not down far enough. So, from the edge of the wall, you can see an old cobblestone road turning south and the patchy trees of the Valewood. So let's climb down. You swing yourself over the side and pick your way back down to the ground. Was this not the one where the guy had the note that said, oh, I read the gloves, I didn't read the note, did I? Oh, okay, let's read the note. Scrawled letter. I do not think you will ever see this, but you were right, Fulvano. We should have journeyed south together and been safer for it. I would tolerate all the gloating in the world if I might live to hear it. I have put myself out of reach of the beasts circling below, but I am done for all the same. I do not think I will rise again. Whoever finds this, pray for me. Perhaps in the next life I shall be a trapper of wolves. Interesting thought, right? Okay. So we really do want to meet this guy. There he is.
Hello?
He'll be pertinent again later. Naunton. This man appears to be hurriedly dismantling his camp in quick, jerky movements. He looks up as you approach, his expression tense and drawn. Greetings, he says, a little breathless. On your way south, is it? He wipes his brow, turning to face you. The sooner you're clear of these woods, the better, I think. Let me take a drink here. Our caravan was attacked, and I'm trying to get to Valewood. Okay, this is where we start developing our personality. We can be honest, we can be diplomatic, we can be aggressive. Later we'll have things like stoic and rational and whatnot. A smart ass, that's not what they call it, but in essence that's what it is. Clever, I think they call it. Never mind the woods, there was a strange machine in the ruins up north. There were figures clad in black performing some kind of rite. Well, we probably don't know yet that we ought not to be saying them kind of things. Let's go with that one. The man's brow furrows in concern. Ruins? The old Angwithian place. You want to keep clear of those, whatever you saw. Strange things always crop up around Angwithian sites. I don't doubt those people you saw were up to no good. Let the Glenfathans deal with it. They don't take kindly to trespassers, whatever their intention. And there's enough to worry about in these woods as it is. He's really fixated on that, isn't he? His expression follows, we came across a bear in a cave to the north. He's just going to tell us this whether we want to know it or not. Got the better of a friend of mine. I only just made it out with my life. In any case, this forest's already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. Who are you? Ah, name's Naughton. Born and raised in Gilded Vale. Haven't had a spot of luck since. His face twists. Luckier than Pearly, I suppose. Okay, what happened to your friend? We didn't see it coming. Naughton's voice shakes a little as he speaks. We were following a stag. Pearly, he saw something in the brambles, and we went tearing off after it. Doesn't sound very bright to me. We all but stumbled into the cave. Poor Pearly didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before we knew what was happening. The beasts will take what they will, I suppose, he smiles sadly. And this time, Galloway's favor fell upon the bear. So, where can I find this bear? In a cave, a ways up that way. He turns and points northwest. I wouldn't seek it out if I were you. It was a great brute of a beast. Would hate to hear that it took another life. Well, now, thank you for your concern. Does anyone know why my menu is open here? How come it to be open and how do I make it close? It doesn't usually do that, does it? Maybe it does and I just haven't figured it out yet. Let's go on ahead to Gilded Vale. Acceptieren. So we're back at the beginning of the game. That's okay though. They don't track your hours in this one. It'd be interesting to know how many. I mean, I can look in Steam, see how many hours I've played it, all told. But then again, of course, I had this in Epic Games as well, and I might even have it in the
You must be one of the
GOG.
new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
So, see, we can be passionate, we can be clever. Let's pick clever. I feel at home already.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first.
Doesn't
The
really matter what you say.
inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great
Or
pains
Radric.
to
Radric,
insulate
I
our
always say.
town from Widewind's legacy.
Raderick.
Have you ever conceived a hollow-born child?
I beg your pardon. Mind your own damn business.
The
What kind of a
well-being
question
this
is that?
village Is my business.
That's a
You'd
disgusting
best get
question.
used to the idea if you intend to live among us.
Or I could kill you.
I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
Oh, you caught me. Here.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now.
Has nothing to do with
Without his
me.
approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
That tree over there. Urgate doesn't even look over his shoulder. Ah, yes. Not everyone has accepted the measures necessary to keep the village safe. Ever since Lord Raderick banished the mothers of Hollowborn, some have taken up arms against him, and while he's been searching for a cure, he's been beset with frauds and opportunists. We've had ciphers, wizards, and animancers come through town, taking the Lord's coin and promising to end the curse. Lord Raderick finally decided to make an example of those who would profit from our tragedy. He points to the body of a dwarven woman. The latest was an animancer from the Valian republics who claimed to know techniques none of us had seen. By now, we've seen it all. Let's pick number 2. You said something about a Hollowborn and Wadewind's legacy. I forgot that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Direwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to whisper, children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say hollowborn are a disease. Some say they're a punishment from the gods. That's when the fae folk come and they swap babies out. They take your baby and they put one of theirs in its place. That's how they turn out. This has nothing to do with a curse. So he raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows, but they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Wide One's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. I see. Lord Radoric's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. Seems fanatical. Excuse me. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. I think number 3 is probably the safest. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. You want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing on Engwithian ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Beroth, have mercy. We certainly have. Okay. I'm just going to go with number 2 for shits and grins. I don't think so. They just as they finished, there was a bivouac. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you've been that close to a bivouac, you wouldn't be standing here. Okay, now I've been feeling awful strange. Can someone help me?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced
They done
trust
strung
of
her up,
others.
didn't they?
A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets.
That is
Corpse
really
stink is
brutal.
nothing when you're digging for shit.
Okay, this thing's on the
My
charger,
advice,
but it's not
however, is
charging.
to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
Well, now I've got a failed connection in my charging thing. Bugger me. If I knew how to hold my tongue just right and make this stupid thing charge. Well, now I'd do it. Crazy thing. It got pulled out a couple times and now it does not want to, it doesn't want to connect the way it should. Just a second. Just want to check something. Yeah, I don't know. It's like 4 people actually sitting in my channel just in Twitch alone. It shows I've only got 1 person watching. It happens to me quite frequently. Twitch is just really bad about that. So, okay, well, you know what? Goodbye.
Listen.
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed. 3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same.
Maybe his wife died in
You
childbirth.
should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
Then again, she might not be considered a Radoric. You know how that is in some cultures. Don't threaten me, little man. It's not a threat, only a warning. Lord Radoric will tolerate no threats to his kin or those who live upon his lands. Grief will not make him more docile. Does this affect the Lord's offer to the new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest, the inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterward. I will know more soon enough. I think his meaning was fairly clear, and sounds like it's fixing to storm. Looks like that was their hope gone. You see 4 people gathered by the door of the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hand for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Number 2, say nothing and be stoic about it. So one of the other men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drinking, but his gaze is focused. You've got a lot of gull mocking us in our own village. We don't take ill treatment from foreigners, especially not Adarians.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
I'll cut that barrel-looking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
So, I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. The 3 drunks scowl at you, and why's that? Well, this will end badly. No one gives us orders, Adrian. Still can't figure out why this thing is jacked up there. Don't know what is. Oh. She is pretty pissed, wasn't she? As the last of the attackers fall, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
Ah, you mean for slaughtering him. You're welcome.
Well, that is one way of putting it.
He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months of travel, but the leather work beneath is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
How'd you manage to get stuck out here? That's something of a long story.
I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which
necessary background,
for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land.
Excellent.
And how exactly did you come to be here?
Well, I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Griffin ruins?
Mm-hmm.
Those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not.
Mm-hmm.
Half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious. What exactly did you find there?
Several hooded figures operating a strange machine. Alof goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh.
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
Just how'd you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
You did tell that one man to go fuck his sister. All of that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints. And the accent doesn't help. Yeah, well, I done heard the same thing. For a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes and he shakes his head. I must speak more clearly next time. My apologies. So what are you doing here in the Gilded Vale?
I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife.
He cocks his head and looks at
That's
you.
a familiar tale.
Okay. And you? Well, now I've been experiencing some strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls. No, let's take the first one. Like you, I'm a settler. That was why I came originally,
Indeed.
right?
In that case, welcome to Gilded Vale, a true refuge from civilization.
What an insult. You don't exactly look like a
Beg your
settler.
pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
Fair enough.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
Okay, so do I. Let's go.
Excellent. I shall
Bye-bye.
follow you.
Okay, so let's loot these poor bastards. And more than just one sense of the word there. They didn't have a whole heck of a lot on them neither, did they? So now I'm thinking that I need to go stay at the inn before I can go talk to Adir and get him in my party.
Hello.
Oh, greetings and welcome to the Black Hound Inn. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have two available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by the way of good meal today, she sighs, unless you're fond of cold porridge. You only serve cold porridge? Alof looks at you and shakes his head quickly. I guess I shouldn't have asked that one, should I? It isn't by choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in the Direwood. I always say Direwood, I'm just going to keep doing it, because to me that's what that spells. We've a damnable run of luck is all. It's been a bad season for the crops, and we're running low on supplies. I sent Tenfrith up north to stock up. Tenfrith's our cook, you see, an artist with a good roast. But it's been days since he was supposed to return, and we hadn't seen hide nor hair of him. So, I've only just taken over from the last owner myself. I don't know what I'll do if he doesn't turn up. She means Tenfrith, not the last owner. Okay, so, now I could try to find him for you. Really? I'd be ever so grateful if you did. He was traveling through the Vale Wood. It's probably nothing, a broken wheel maybe. But I do worry. You see him safely home, and I think everyone in here would be singing your praises. Nobody much likes my porridge. Well, now, I can't say as how I blame them. So, I'd like to know more about the name The Black Hound. What's that about? Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces in here, too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. That sounded strange. I used to work the tables, actually, until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him, even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound. It's still sitting upstairs pining after him, poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow, my very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but now it's been worth it so far. Okay, let's take a room. Now, of course, we keep them nice and tidy. And then when we get up in the morning, we can't afford much fancy just yet, so let's just sleep in the common room. We'll go up and get ourselves a hound, and then we'll head out and see if a deer is hanging out there. Oh, hold it. Oh, yeah, we did have to sleep first. Okay, I thought maybe I'd got that backward. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with suffocating anxieties. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty. And behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Your mouth slowly parts, and a gust of rancid, her mouth slowly parts in a gust of rancid air. She speaks the word, Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this one once more, if only to confirm that she is truly dead. You ought not to get experience points when you haven't done anything. So let's go get the dog. Then we'll go talk to that dwarf woman and see if Adair will join us. Okay? Like I said, we're having to start all over again. It ain't no tragedy. Y'all can listen to me read all this stuff all over again. If you like it. If not, well, I'm sorry. I used to get a pretty good audience for this till I took a day off. It was really weird. Came back the next day and I didn't have the audience. It was very strange. But, you have to have a day off every now and again. If I start pulling a crowd for it again, I'll put it back in my schedule and we'll do this regularly in the evening hours, which seemed to be a good time. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. Yeah, sorry, girl, I don't think he's coming back. The dog whines softly again, head tilting. I could use a good dog. Here, girl. The dog's ears perk up, it trots over to you, and it barks happily. We have gained the item of the black hound in our inventory. So we can change it out for the space pig here. Just stick it in the box, they don't mind. Strange as that seems. And now we've got the dog. See? You'll find various creatures in our travels that we can... It doesn't do anything. It just follows behind you. Not hurting anybody, but it's not doing anything for you neither. Just sort of decorative, something fun. This ale tastes funny to you? It caught my eye. Oh, good. We're discovering new locations. How fun for us. So now we need to look at her first. This is going to be quite a prolonged conversation, folks. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarven woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no lights on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. So let's reach out for the woman. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you've expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog. Her body is swaying in the wind. You no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it.
That's a fair point.
I think it is a very good choice.
Okay, I need to understand something that's happening to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten.
She nods
You
again.
are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, no, not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them. Know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder.
What do you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks. Yeah, okay.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Was trying to decide if they were saying the C like a S or like a K, but they're doing it like a K. Okay. Number 4. I think I survived a bivouac. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing.
She talks to you like you're a child.
Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time.
Ooh.
Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Call them. Those days are all behind me, no?
You said souls break apart over time.
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again. But less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time.
Sounds like me.
They all succumb eventually, I think.
Okay, I want to know something about you, darling.
Me? I'll bore you to tears.
Who were you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question.
It was a stupid question, wasn't it?
Plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Oh, tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
What's an animancer?
A student of the soul.
This is a foundational
Something
knowledge
so
we need for the
basic,
game.
Yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime.
Excuse me.
Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are.
I'm sure there are some.
But the best of us? The best? Inspirations. Miracle workers. My parents were soul twins.
Ooh.
Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be
I don't think we
alive
have
in a
any more
place like
questions for
Hillwood
her.
that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Let's just see. I don't think there's anything else.
Of course,
Nothing
dear.
sensible. Okay.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Calandra closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. So now we have the Crucible of the Soul ability. Aloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you all right? You seemed lost just now. I guess we could just say I'm a watcher. He arches his arched eyebrows recede into his head. Well, that's interesting. He gives you a sly grin, and I expect this has something to do with the hooded figures in the ruins. In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we'll be traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about watchers? Only that they're rare and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions. He coughs, as you just demonstrated. Okay, well, let's go. Okay, let's get them leveled up real quick, and then when we get Ada, we'll get to level him up as well. As I've said, she's a barbarian, so it's probably a good idea to keep her survival up. This we need, however, for conversations, and the rest we'll save for next time. Looking to see what we have available. None of them are passive abilities. I like passive abilities. I like it when things happen and I don't have to do nothing about it. Savage Defiance. The barbarian channels his or her own irrepressible determination, regenerating a large amount of endurance. Let's take that. Sort of a healing thing there. Now with him, we want to keep building his mechanics up, okay? Because he's going to be our functioning thief until we can get another thief, in essence. He will need, however, at least 1 point of athletics, 1 point of stealth. The survival is to be shanked. So let's bring this up first, and then we can give him a survival point. That'll be fine. Everybody needs to have at least 1 stealth point, so in case when we need to sneak around. Second level spell. That necrotic lance is pretty good. And the mirror image is always nice for a mage, of course. What else? A fetid caress is not too bad, except I think that's a spell where you have to actually touch them. The combusting wounds is good. They have to already be injured. Let's take the necrotic lance. I think the ray of fire is one of those cone effects, if I'm not mistaken. Creates a scorching ray of flame between the caster and the target, inflicting continual burn damage to the target and anyone caught in the ray. That might be handy if we use it correctly. It's tricky because you just have to be mindful of the fact that anyone in between can be hit with it. So let's go talk to Adair. The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk. He's my favorite character. I'm sweet on him.
Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
I'm sorry?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta. The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Aloth frowns. Isn't that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair.
Adair.
The people around here might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman? He looks at you a moment, his brow arched. His smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. Never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Impossible, I don't drool half as much. Ha, so you're already familiar. Still, you'll have to forgive my curiosity. Around here we prefer to turn a blind eye to our dead. Well, do you know what a watcher is?
Careful, Brad. Let's not use that word round here. Any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot.
Fair enough.
Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here. Radric especially. They come to these parts all the time with their cures.
So we'll end the stream when we're done with this conversation with him.
Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
None taken. Good. They don't mean it personal when they hang folk around here, I have to remind myself.
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fella who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there.
I thought the dwarf woman was number 18.
Used to be my captain during the war.
Okay. The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Feller decides he's the living incarnation of Aethos. Overthrows Red Caress, marches on Direwood, so we gave him a Direwooden hello. What's a Direwooden hello?
Blew him up.
He smiles at this. That is the smile of one recounting a joke for effect rather than enjoyment. Who is Aethos? God of rebirth and redemption, formerly anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. I had other questions. I got time. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Raderick sent men down here the other day, said they had on good authority someone in town was working with Kolsk, plotting Raderick's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, that's my head man, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later. If not for plotting against Raderick, then for protecting me. What's your town have against you?
Picked the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, there was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, then I did too. But, he didn't make it back.
My
After
condolences.
the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Radric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Aloth glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. So, who is Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. Okay, if you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? He gives a half smile, drinking mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured out where I'm going. Not a lot of places out there that don't think Widewin's legacy started with Widewin. Well, now we could travel together. Where are you heading? Someplace called Cape Newell. There's an old watcher there, might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before.
Well, now that's
Not
okay.
sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
I love his voice. It's so pretty. There's a fine reason if I've ever heard one.
All right, then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
He's glanced at the tree. He tilts his head forward and gives you a pointed look. Okay, let's go. Okay, now I thought he might level up. It looks like he's done already 3rd level because we're all 3rd level when we brought him into our party. Yep, he just barely 3rd level. Perfect. See? Very well balanced. So what we're going to do, we're going to save it here. And we will stream this another time. Hopefully we'll pull some more people in. So, okay, not the most original name in the world, but that's okay. Well, at least I was able to get the stream going, which is the, sometimes the challenging part because it keeps reassigning numbers to my headphones and my microphone and then, well, now this doesn't work and that doesn't work and who knows what. I'm glad you all joined me. I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all spending your time with me. I will start cobbling a schedule together. The problem that I have is that it's been very unpredictable for me with sick rabbits and my partner having had a stroke and him trying to recover from it and me being just kind of with all this stuff going on. And now then he's still here a lot of the time. And that makes it hard for me to stream in the evenings. But now I'm going to go ahead and start doing that again. I hope y'all will join me. Hope to see more of you. Always feel free when you come in to write something in the chat. Okay? Or just to lurk. Doesn't matter to me. Y'all just go on ahead and do what you need to do. Just glad that you come and join me. And I will see y'all when I see you.